Ladies and gentlemen, everyone wants to build an empire, whether that means financial freedom, legacy, mastery, or impact. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. You do not build an empire on inspiration. You build it on discipline. Inspiration is emotional. It feels good. It's that fire in your belly when you hear a great speech or read a powerful quote. But what happens the next morning when you wake up tired, unmotivated, or distracted? That's when discipline must take the wheel. You see, inspiration is the spark, but discipline is the engine. And engines are what take you forward, mile after mile, brick. Let's break this down like educators, not just motivators. A builder does not show up to a construction site with just a dream. He shows up with a blueprint, a tool belt, and a team ready to execute the plan. Every day, rain or shine. Likewise, if your vision is to build something great, a business, a career, a legacy, then the real currency isn't how often you're inspired. It's how often you show up when you're not. Discipline is waking up early when no one is watching. Discipline is saying no to distractions that feel good but cost you your goal. Discipline is reading the books, building the habits, practicing the skills, and keeping your promises to yourself. Inspiration may get your attention, but discipline earns your respect. It's easy to clap for others who built empires. But remember this, what they built in public, they first built in private. With relentless consistency, inspiration is a powerful feeling. It ignites something inside you, a spark, a sense of possibility, a rush of motivation that makes you feel like you can conquer the world. We've all had those moments. You listen to a powerful speech, read an inspiring book, watch a success story, and suddenly you're filled with energy and belief. But here's the truth that many overlook. Inspiration is temporary. It doesn't last. It fades, sometimes in hours, sometimes in days. It comes and goes like the weather. That's why you can't build your future on how inspired you feel. You have to build it on what you consistently do, especially when you don't feel inspired. Discipline is what remains when the excitement disappears. It is the inner commitment to keep moving forward, to keep showing up, even when motivation is low and emotions are flat. Discipline is about doing the right thing, even when you don't want to. It's choosing long-term rewards over short-term comfort. While inspiration pushes you off the starting line, only discipline will carry you to the finish. Think about it. How many people start the new year inspired? Gyms are packed, vision boards are filled, resolutions are written. But how many stay consistent by March? Not many. Why? Because inspiration wore off. And without discipline, everything falls apart. Discipline creates structure, and structure creates results. You don't become successful because you felt good every day. You become successful because you trained yourself to take action regardless of how you feel. You built habits. You followed a routine. You honored your goals in private when nobody was clapping for you. That's the real foundation of greatness. That's how empires are built. Not in moments of excitement, but in months and years of quiet effort. And here's another thing. Discipline doesn't always feel rewarding in the short term. It can feel boring, repetitive, and slow. But the rewards come with time. It's like planting seeds. You don't see the harvest overnight, but with daily care, those seeds grow into something massive. That's how discipline works. Every act of discipline, no matter how small, adds to your foundation. Each day you stick to the plan, each time you resist temptation, you are casting a brick toward your empire. Inspiration might lift you for a moment, but discipline will carry you for a lifetime. It's not about how inspired you feel today. It's about what you will continue to do tomorrow and the next day and the next, regardless of how you feel. If you want to build something that lasts, something meaningful, you must learn to honor discipline above inspiration. Because in the end, it is not the most inspired person who wins. It is the most disciplined. Dreams are beautiful. They give us something to hope for, something to reach toward. They are the visions we carry deep in our hearts, the life we imagine, the success we crave, the legacy we want to leave. But dreaming alone is not enough. A dream is just a blueprint. It's the outline, the possibility, the plan on paper. What actually builds the structure, what brings that vision to life, is discipline. Discipline is the builder. It's the labor, the sweat, the sacrifice, the commitment to take that dream and make it real, brick by brick, day by day. You can have the most detailed blueprint in the world, but if you don't pick up the tools and start building, it means nothing. Many people spend years dreaming, talking about their vision, writing their goals down, visualizing success, but they never step into the daily discipline required to build it. The world is filled with dreamers who never became doers. And the difference between them and the ones who succeed, it's not more talent, not better ideas, not even greater intelligence. It's discipline. The discipline to start when it's uncomfortable. The discipline to keep going when it's boring. The discipline to stay focused when distractions come. That's the difference between a blueprint and a building. Discipline transforms your thoughts into habits, your habits into routines, and your routines into results. It's the process of becoming consistent with your effort even when you're not seeing the outcome yet. Because results don't show up immediately. You may be building for months or even years without visible proof that anything is working. But disciplined people keep going. They trust the process. They understand that while dreams can inspire you, only discipline can deliver results. Imagine someone planning to build a house. They get excited, draw up the plans, buy the materials, and talk endlessly about how beautiful it will be. But they never show up to the construction site. Weeks go by and they wonder why nothing is taking shape. That's how many people live. They dream big, but they don't build daily. Discipline is showing up to the construction site of your life every single day, with or without applause, with or without motivation. It's putting in the work even when nobody is watching. You must become your own builder. Your dream won't build itself. No matter how strong your desire, without the discipline to act consistently, your dream remains a wish. And wishes don't change the world. Discipline does. So if you're serious about creating something lasting, something meaningful, it's time to pick up your tools. Show up to your goals like a builder shows up to the job site. Lay the bricks. Follow the plan. Be patient with the process. Because while dreams may show you what's possible, only discipline can make it real. An empire is not built on excitement alone. It is built on systems, routine, structure, and order. Inspiration may get you started, but systems are what keep you going. Every successful organization, business, or legacy you admire operates on a set of habits and disciplines that are repeated day after day. Passion might light the fire, but systems keep it burning. People often confuse enthusiasm with progress. Just because you feel excited doesn't mean you're actually moving forward. It's the system you build, the habits you establish, the routines you stick to that determine whether you reach your destination or stay stuck in a cycle of short-lived motivation. Excitement is emotional, but systems are strategic. They don't depend on your mood. You may wake up feeling tired or uninspired, but if you have a system in place, you'll still move. That's the beauty of structure. It doesn't wait for how you feel. It functions based on commitment, not emotion. Imagine trying to run a business based solely on how inspired the team feels each day. Imagine building a career, writing a book, or getting in shape without a clear system. It wouldn't work. You'd make progress some days and lose it on others. That's what happens to many people. They rely on feeling good before they take action, instead of relying on the systems that produce results regardless of how they feel. Systems are the invisible framework behind every success story. You might see someone living a life of abundance, freedom, or influence, but what you don't see are the systems they've built behind the scenes. The morning routines, the time blocks, the financial strategies, the training schedules, the consistent learning. All of it is part of the engine that runs the empire. Without it, the structure collapses. Even the strongest inspiration can't hold up an undisciplined life. That's why so many inspired people fail to follow through. They start strong, but they don't stay structured. If you want to create something lasting, you must design a system that can survive your moods. A system is a commitment to a process. It's a repeatable set of actions that lead to a desired outcome. It's not glamorous and it doesn't always feel exciting, but it works. And over time, that system produces results that inspiration alone never could. You can be excited about your goals, but if you don't build the infrastructure to support them, that excitement will fizzle out. Empires are built with consistency, not bursts of energy. They are built through structure, not just speeches. So if you're serious about building something great, stop depending on emotional highs. Start designing a system you can live by, even on the low days. A good system will take you further than 1,000 moments of motivation. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't belong to the most excited. It belongs to the most structured. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-respect. It is choosing what you want most over what you want now. In a world that constantly tempts you with instant gratification, comfort, entertainment, shortcuts, discipline is the quiet decision to delay pleasure in pursuit of purpose. It's about saying no to things that feel good in the moment but don't serve your long-term goals. That's not easy, but it's necessary, because if you always give in to what's easy, you'll never achieve what's meaningful. The greatest achievements, whether personal or professional, require sacrifice. They require saying no to temporary desires so you can say yes to lasting rewards. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're investing in your future self. You're strengthening your will, building your character, and reinforcing the belief that you are in control of your life. Not your impulses, not your emotions, not your environment. This mindset is what separates those who live with purpose from those who drift. Discipline is the gap between your goals and your results. Everyone has dreams, but not everyone is willing to make the choices necessary to bring them to life. Discipline means making those hard choices every day, not once, but repeatedly. Think about the areas in life where success is visible: health, career, relationships, finance. None of these improve through occasional effort or sudden bursts of inspiration. They improve through the small, consistent choices you make daily. Waking up early when you'd rather sleep, studying when you'd rather spend, speaking kindly when you'd rather spend, speaking kindly when you're tempted to lash out. These aren't dramatic moments, they're quiet ones. But over time, they shape who you become and what you achieve. Choosing what you want most means having clarity. It means identifying your deeper goals and aligning your actions with them. If you want to be strong, healthy, successful, respected, then you have to make decisions that support that vision even when it's inconvenient. That's what mature people do. They don't chase feelings, they chase purpose. And purpose is always uphill. Discipline is the vehicle that gets you there. It's also important to understand that discipline doesn't remove joy from life. It deepens it. Because when you live with discipline, you build a life you're proud of. You become someone you respect. And there is no greater joy than looking back and knowing you gave your best effort, not just when it was easy, but when it was hard. Temporary pleasure is just that, temporary. But the fulfillment that comes from living with discipline is lasting. It gives you confidence, direction, and peace of mind. So whenever you're faced with a choice between what feels good now and what you truly want for your life, remember, discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Make that choice enough times and you won't just achieve goals, you'll build a life of strength, purpose, and success. Motivation is powerful, but it's unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. Some days you wake up feeling inspired and ready to conquer the world, and other days you struggle to even get out of bed. That's normal. It's human. But if your progress depends entirely on how motivated you feel, you will never be consistent. And if you are not consistent, you will not grow. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the ability to act regardless of how you feel. It's what keeps you moving forward when motivation fades, and it's what separates those who achieve from those who simply wish. Relying on motivation alone is like trying to grow a tree by only watering it when it rains. Sure, the rain will help sometimes, but it's not dependable. If you want that tree to grow strong and tall, you have to water it regularly, even when the skies are clear and the sun is hot. That's what discipline does. It shows up every day, not just on the good days. It does the work not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. That is how growth happens. Not in the moments of inspiration, but in the quiet hours of commitment. Consistency is the true key to transformation. Whether you're trying to build a business, develop a skill, improve your health, or grow spiritually, you must commit to showing up over and over again. There will be days when you won't feel like doing it. Days when everything inside you tells you to rest, quit, or delay. But discipline pushes through that. It says, I may not feel like it, but I made a decision. And every time you follow through on that decision, even without motivation, you strengthen your inner resolve. You train your mind to obey your commitments rather than your emotions. This is not about being emotionless. It's about prioritizing your goals over your moods, because moods are temporary, but the consequences of your actions or inactions can last a lifetime. Growth isn't the result of one big motivational moment. It's the outcome of many small, disciplined steps taken daily. Over time, those steps compound. What once felt difficult becomes routine. What once seemed out of reach becomes part of your reality. That's the quiet power of discipline. It doesn't shout, it builds. The most successful people in any field are not those who are constantly fired up with excitement. They're the ones who have trained themselves to act without needing to be inspired. They've learned to do the work even when it's boring, painful, or thankless. That's where growth is born, in the dark, silent, unglamorous moments of discipline. So if you want to grow, don't chase motivation, build discipline. Because while motivation may help you start, only discipline will help you finish. And finishing, reaching your full potential, is what real growth is all about. The foundation of any meaningful achievement is not talent, luck, or even opportunity. It's daily habits. Your habits are the behaviors you repeat consistently, often without thinking. Over time, they become the framework of your life. Success is not the result of one huge action or a dramatic breakthrough. It is the quiet product of countless small actions repeated day after day. These daily choices, however minor they may seem, add up to massive transformation. Whether you succeed or fail isn't determined by what you occasionally do, but by what you do consistently. That's why discipline is essential. It's the force that helps you stay faithful to those small but powerful habits. Every great empire, career, or legacy was built one day at a time. Behind every strong body is a person who chose to exercise and eat with intention each day. Behind every thriving business is someone who worked on systems, built relationships, and stayed focused every day, often long before anyone noticed. And behind every wise leader or thinker is a person who read, reflected, and practiced mental discipline daily. None of this is glamorous. You don't see results after one day or even after 1 week. But day after day, as you repeat your actions, the results begin to compound. This is where many people give up. They expect instant results. They want to see the empire before they've laid the bricks. But a disciplined person understands that the work done in obscurity matters. They understand that greatness is built in private long before it is celebrated in public. And they don't wait to feel motivated. They rely on structure, commitment, and integrity. They create routines and rituals that keep them aligned with their goals even when their emotions fluctuate. Your daily habits are a mirror. They reflect what you value and what you are becoming. If you spend your days wasting time, chasing distractions, or making excuses, that pattern will define your future. But if you fill your days with intentional, value-driven actions, learning, creating, practicing, improving, then you are setting yourself up for lasting success. It might not be visible at first, but it is inevitable. That's the power of discipline and repetition. Think of each day as a building block. On its own, it may not seem significant, but when stacked day after day, those blocks form the structure of your life. The question is, what kind of structure are you building? One of strength and purpose, or one of regret and wasted time? Discipline allows you to take control of your time and choices. It ensures that your actions reflect your highest priorities, not your passing impulses. And over time, as you keep showing up and doing the right things, especially when no one's watching, you'll realize that success isn't an event, it's a habit. A disciplined, consistent habit that transforms ordinary days into extraordinary results. Success is not the result of doing what you feel like. It's the result of doing what you committed to, regardless of how you feel. Emotions are powerful, but they are also inconsistent. One day you might feel motivated and energetic. The next you might feel tired, discouraged, or distracted. If your actions are always based on how you feel in the moment, your journey will be unpredictable and your results will reflect that inconsistency. But when you train yourself to follow through on your commitments, despite how you feel, you build reliability, strength, and forward momentum. Discipline is what allows you to keep your word to yourself. It's easy to make promises when you're inspired. It's hard to keep those promises when you're exhausted, bored, or overwhelmed. But the real test of character is not what you do when everything feels good. It's what you do when everything feels hard. Can you still show up? Can you still do the work? Can you still stay aligned with your purpose? Discipline says yes, even when your feelings scream no. The truth is, feelings are fleeting. They come and go based on circumstances, mood, and environment. but your commitments are chosen. They are rooted in vision, purpose, and intention. When you act based on commitment rather than emotion, you begin to take control of your life. You stop being reactive and start being proactive. You stop being pulled in every direction by how you feel, and you start directing your energy toward where you want to go. This doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means not letting them be the boss. Emotions are indicators, not dictators. They can give you information, but they should not determine your direction. If you let every mood shift derail your efforts, you'll never gain traction. But when you decide to honor your commitments, even when your feelings are out of alignment, you build something far greater than motivation. You build resilience. This mindset is crucial in every area of life. In relationships, it means being present, patient, and responsible, even when you feel irritated or disconnected. In work, it means delivering quality, even on days when you feel uninspired. In personal growth, it means pushing yourself to improve, even when it's uncomfortable. The most successful people don't wait to feel like it. They train themselves to act in alignment with their highest goals, no matter what. When you commit to this level of discipline, something powerful happens. Your confidence grows. You begin to trust yourself. Why? Because you've proven that you can be counted on, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. That's the foundation of true self-respect. You realize that your life is not being shaped by chance, but by choice. By your repeated decision to act according to your commitments, not your emotions. And over time, that consistent decision-making creates results that motivation alone could never achieve. Success is never an overnight event. It is the product of small, consistent actions taken over time. The power of consistency cannot be overstated. It is the secret weapon of every person who has achieved greatness. When you commit to doing something repeatedly, day after day, no matter how small, you begin to build momentum. This momentum carries you forward even when the initial excitement has faded. Discipline fuels this consistency, ensuring that you keep moving ahead regardless of circumstances or emotions. Many people start projects with enthusiasm but soon lose interest when results don't come quickly. They expect immediate progress and give up when the journey proves longer and harder than anticipated. But true growth requires patience. It requires trusting the process and embracing the power of incremental improvement. Each day that you show up and put in effort, you're laying another brick in the foundation of your success. These bricks may seem insignificant on their own, but together they create a structure strong enough to withstand challenges and setbacks. Consistency is more than just repeating actions. It's about doing so with intentionality and focus. Mindless repetition without purpose won't lead to growth. But when your daily actions are aligned with clear goals and values, the compound effect is extraordinary. Small habits like reading a few pages, practicing a skill, exercising, or planning your day might not feel like much, but over months and years, they create a profound transformation. That's why successful people pay attention to their daily routines and rituals. They know these are the building blocks of lasting achievement. Discipline is what keeps you anchored during times of difficulty. Life will always present obstacles, distractions, and temptations to stray from your path. When motivation wanes, discipline is what allows you to stay consistent. It's the internal force that says, I will do this because it matters even when you don't feel like it. This steadfastness builds trust with yourself and develops resilience, the ability to bounce back and keep going despite setbacks. Another important aspect of consistency is that it builds confidence. Every time you follow through, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of commitment and follow through. This confidence propels you forward, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges and maintain your momentum. Without consistency, progress is fragmented and slow. With consistency, progress becomes exponential. The results you desire are not products of luck or sporadic effort, but the natural outcome of disciplined, consistent action. When you build habits that serve your goals and persist through ups and downs, you're not just working towards success, you're embodying it. Over time, your consistent efforts turn into visible achievements, a stronger mindset, and a life shaped by purpose. That's why discipline and consistency are inseparable partners on the path to building your empire. Self-restraint is the cornerstone of discipline, and without it, building anything meaningful becomes nearly impossible. When you lack self-restraint, you become a slave to your impulses, distractions, and temporary pleasures. You give in to procrastination, temptation, and the easy way out. But when you cultivate self-restraint, you take charge of your actions, emotions, and decisions. You create boundaries that protect your time, energy, and focus. This control over yourself is what allows discipline to thrive, and ultimately what allows you to build lasting success. Self-retraction isn't about perfection or rigidly denying yourself everything enjoyable. It's about making intentional choices that align with your long-term goals rather than immediate gratification. Every day you face countless decisions: to stay up late scrolling social media or go to bed early and rest, to eat unhealthy snacks or nourish your body with wholesome food, to give in to distractions or focus on your most important tasks. Each choice might seem small, but these moments add up. The more you exercise self-control, the stronger your discipline becomes, and the easier it is to maintain consistent progress. Building self-control requires awareness and practice. The first step is recognizing your triggers, those moments, environments, or emotions that tempt you to stray from your path. Maybe you notice that when you're stressed, you overeat, or when you're bored, you procrastinate. Once you identify these patterns, you can develop strategies to manage them, setting clear goals, creating structured routines, removing distractions, or practicing mindfulness. Over time, these habits build a mental muscle that strengthens your ability to choose wisely. It's important to understand that self-control isn't an unlimited resource that runs out after a while. While it can feel exhausting if you constantly resist temptation without rest, self-control can be replenished and strengthened like a muscle. Regular practice, proper rest, and positive reinforcement help maintain your willpower. Additionally, breaking large goals into smaller, manageable tasks reduces overwhelm and makes it easier to stay disciplined without burning out. Self-gratitude also helps you delay gratification, choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. This ability to wait, to endure discomfort for the sake of a greater goal, is what separates those who build empires from those who remain stuck in cycles of fleeting satisfaction. Whether it's investing time in learning, saving money instead of spending impulsively, or exercising regularly despite fatigue, delayed gratification builds the foundation for sustainable success. Self-care cultivates emotional regulation. It helps you manage frustration, impatience, and self-doubt, common challenges on any journey toward growth. When you maintain control over your emotions, you're less likely to make impulsive decisions that derail progress. Instead, you respond thoughtfully and stay aligned with your commitments. Self-betrayal is not just about restricting yourself. It's about empowering yourself. It's about creating the freedom to live intentionally and pursue your vision without being controlled by fleeting desires or distractions. When you develop strong self-betrayal, you unlock the discipline necessary to build an empire, one deliberate, consistent action at a time. Accountability is a powerful tool that transforms discipline from a vague intention into concrete action. When you hold yourself accountable, you create a system of responsibility that pushes you to follow through on your commitments. It's easy to make promises to yourself and then let them slide when no one is watching. But true growth happens when you track your progress and measure your results. Accountability turns discipline into a habit by making you answerable for your actions, helping you stay honest and motivated even when challenges arise. One of the biggest obstacles to discipline is complacency. Without accountability, it's tempting to put off tasks or lower your standards because there's no external pressure to keep you on track. But when you establish accountability, whether through self-monitoring, sharing your goals with others, or working with a mentor, you create an environment where procrastination and excuses lose their power. Knowing that you will have to report your progress forces you to act consistently, and this momentum builds over time. Accountability also helps you develop clarity. When you track your actions and results, you gain insight into what's working and what isn't. This feedback loop allows you to make informed adjustments, improving your habits and strategies. Without accountability, it's easy to drift aimlessly, repeating ineffective behaviors or losing sight of your goals. But with regular check-ins and honest evaluation, you remain focused and intentional, which strengthens your discipline. Another key benefit of accountability is motivation. When you commit your goals to others, friends, family, coaches, or peers, you tap into a social support system that encourages you to persevere. Sharing your progress and challenges with others creates a sense of community and shared purpose, making the journey less lonely and more rewarding. This external motivation complements your internal discipline, providing an extra push when your energy or enthusiasm wane. Self-accountability can take many forms. It might mean journaling your daily actions, setting reminders, or creating checklists to track progress. It could also involve setting clear deadlines and consequences for missed goals. The most important aspect is being honest with yourself and consistently reviewing your performance. This kind of self-reflection builds integrity and self-respect, which are critical for maintaining discipline over the long term. In professional or personal development contexts, accountability partners or groups are especially effective. They provide encouragement, constructive feedback, and gentle pressure to keep going. When you know someone else is counting on you, you're less likely to quit or slack off. This dynamic fosters a disciplined mindset that values commitment and perseverance. Accountability turns your vision into reality by bridging the gap between intention and action. It holds you to your promises and helps you maintain discipline through the ups and downs of your journey. Without accountability, discipline can waver and your progress may stall. But with it, you build a reliable framework for consistent growth, transforming your daily efforts into the lasting success you desire. Tools.